Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about the vas difference in seminal vesicle. So vas difference, it is a thick cord-like tubular structure. So here we can see this is a thick cord and a tubular structure. The length of it is around 45 centimeters or around 18 inches. It begins from the tail of the epididymis. See, tail of the epididymis. This is the epididymis here. So it begins as from the tail of epididymis as a continuation of its canal. Then it passes slightly tortuously upwards behind the testis. This is the testis here. So behind the testis it passes upwards and medial to the epididymis. Then it enters the spermatic cord and traverses the inguinal canal. And in the spermatic cord, the vas lies in the posterior part, and it is accompanied by a pair of testicular veins and also the artery to the vas. So here it is accompanied by testicular veins and artery to the vas. And then at the deep inguinal ring, this is the deep inguinal ring here. So here it is related to the inferior epigastric artery. So that means it winds round the lateral side of this arrow. What you are seeing is the inferior epigastric artery, right? So it winds around the lateral side of the inferior epigastric artery, and then it ascends for about 2.5 centimeters in front of the external iliac vessels. So these are the external iliac vessels here. So it ascends 2.5 centimeters in front of the external iliac vessels and then passes subperitoneally backwards and downwards along the lateral pelvic wall here, and crosses successively what all the structures that are crossing here. One is obturator nerve, obliterated umbilical artery and obturator vessels. So it crosses all these structures, crossing the medial side of external iliac vessels. So now these are the external iliac vessels. So it crosses medial to them, and then also the obliterated umbilical artery. This line what you are seeing is the obliterated umbilical artery, obturator nerve and obturator vessels, right? And then here it joins with the duct of seminal vesicle to form the ejaculatory duct that opens into the prostatic urethra. So thereafter the vas crosses above and medial to the terminal part of the ureter here. If you see, after crossing these vessels and all external iliac that we have seen in the other image in the previous slide, then it crosses the terminal part of the ureter, okay, here, and then makes an angular bend downwards and medially. Here it makes an angular bend downwards and medially. It passes behind the base of the urinary bladder. This is the base of the urinary bladder. So it passes behind the base of the urinary bladder and in front of rectal ampulla. Here on the posterior side there will be rectum, okay. So behind there will be rectal ampulla, and finally it approaches the base of the prostate here. This is the prostate. This dotted area is the prostate gland, okay. So it reaches the prostate and joins with the duct of the seminal vesicle. This blue one is the duct of seminal vesicle here, okay. So here it joins and then forms the ejaculatory duct. So this is the course. So just we'll revise once. So it starts as a continuation of tail of epididymis. This folded line is nothing but the epididymis. This is the testis. So it starts as a continuation from the tail of the epididymis, then runs upwards, runs in the inguinal canal as the chief principal content of the spermatic cord here in the inguinal canal. and then at the deep inguinal ring, it winds around the lateral side of the inferior epigastric artery. Then it is related medially to the external iliac vessels, and also the obliterated umbilical artery, obturator nerve and vessels are all seen in this area. After that, it crosses the terminal portion of the ureter, then makes an angular bend towards the medial side, and wherein it is related, it joins with the duct of the seminal vesicle to form the ejaculatory duct. Now coming to the microscopic structure of the vas deferens, this is the section of the vas deferens. It consists of 3 layers. The 3 layers are there is a loose connective tissue externally. So this is the areolar layer, the loose connective tissue layer, areolar layer, and then there is a muscle layer here. This one is the muscle layer, inner circular and outer longitudinal muscle layer, and then this is the mucosa with the lining epithelium and the lamina propria. This is the lamina propria here, and this is the lining epithelium. And one more important point here is the longitudinal layer is single layer, but an additional internal longitudinal layer is present at the origin of the duct, where it leaves the tail of the epididymis. And however, all the muscle layers intermingle after passing a few distance, and then the longitudinal layer becomes a single, right? So we can see 2 longitudinal. If you are seeing a section of vas deferens and then you are seeing a longitudinal layer on the inner side also, that means that the section is taken at its origin point. Okay, and then this is the mucosa, and this is the lining epithelium. It is thrown into folds, and most of the times the students get to confuse it with the ureter, but by the lining epithelium you should be able to identify. The lining epithelium of the ureter will be transitional epithelium or urothelium, whereas here it will be simple columnar, non-ciliated, right? Throughout the duct it is simple columnar and non-ciliated, and at its terminal point the epithelium becomes pseudostratified columnar epithelium. And in the pseudostratified epithelium, the tallest cells bear the non-motile stereocilia, or the elongated microvilli, what we say. They are seen at its terminal point in the pseudostratified epithelium, like similar to those of the epididymis, the stereocilia that we see in epididymis. That kind of a picture we are going to see. And then this is the lamina propria here. Now let's see the blood supply, lymphatic drainage and nerve supply. Each vas deferens has its own artery. This is called as artery of the vas. This is derived from the superior vesicle or inferior vesicle artery. And the vas artery to the vas anastomoses with the testicular artery to supply the epididymis and testis also. This artery to the vas, it will anastomose with the testicular artery to supply the epididymis and testis. And the veins, the venous drainage of the vas is into the pelvic venous plexuses. Lymphatic vessels drain to the external and internal iliac nodes. And the nerve supply, the vas deferens are innervated by a rich autonomic plexus, and they are composed mainly of sympathetic nerve fibers derived from the pelvic plexus. So sympathetic nerve fibers are derived from the pelvic plexus, and they supply the vas deferens. Artery to the vas, which is a branch of superior or inferior vesical artery, will supply the vas deferens. And veins drain into the pelvic venous plexuses. and lymphatics drain into the either internal or external iliac nodes. So the clinical aspect related to the vas deferens is vasectomy, which is a type of family planning method in males. So bilateral ligation of the vas deferens after cutting a small piece of the vas deferens, around 1 centimeter is cut. So that is called as vasectomy, and nowadays the procedure is no scalpel vasectomy here, NSV what we call. So this area of the scrotum here, the area is punctured without using the scalpel. A small puncture is done here, and that puncture is little bit widened, and through that the clamp is inserted, and the vas deferens, these two are here, the vas deferens. So they are caught hold and then pulled out and cut, and 1 centimeter of each of the vas deferens is removed, and then the two cut ends are ligated with the openings facing away, right? So the cut ends are ligated and folded upon themselves, sutured, so that the cut ends face away from each other. And after vasectomy, the sterility is not immediate. It takes around 3 months. The sperms are stored in the reproductive tract up to 3 months. So all the old sperms which are formed earlier, which were already there in the male reproductive tract, they should be gone by 3 months, and then the sperms are destroyed intraluminally by phagocytosis after the vasectomy. And 3 months, after 3 months, do semen analysis. If they show no sperm in the semen analysis, then the man can be declared as sterile. Seminal vesicles, these are the seminal vesicles. So these are pair of compressed pyramidal organs sandwiched between the base of the bladder and ampulla of rectum. So this is the base of the bladder, and then posteriorly we have the ampulla of the rectum. So in between them the seminal vesicles are seen. That is a paired organ, and the base of each seminal vesicle is directed upwards and laterally. So this one directed upwards and laterally, and comes in contact with the terminal part of the ureter, that is not seen here, and the apex of vesicle converges towards the base of the prostate. This is the prostate here, okay. So it converges towards the base of the prostate and joins with the vas deferens. Here this is the vas deferens to form the ejaculatory duct. Each vesicle is formed by coiling of a single duct which presents numerous lateral diverticula. These are all the lateral diverticula that we are seeing, and these are held together by the connective tissue. It measures about 5 centimeters in length and 2 to 3 centimeters in width, and when uncoiled, the length of the vesicle is about 10 to 15 centimeters. Coiled seminal vesicle is around 5 centimeters. When it is uncoiled, it will be around 10 to 15 centimeters in length. The relations of the seminal vesicle, here we can see in this image, this is the seminal vesicle. So in front of the seminal vesicle we are seeing the base of the bladder. This is the urinary bladder here. So in front, that is anteriorly, we see the base of urinary bladder. Posteriorly we see the ampulla of the rectum separated by rectovesical fascia. This is blue thing is the rectovesical fascia here, which is a fold of peritoneum. So posteriorly we are seeing the ampulla of rectum, and medially ampulla of vas deferens. Here this one is the vas deferens. So medially we are seeing ampulla of the vas deferens, and laterally posterior true ligament of the bladder containing vesical plexus of veins. So that is not seen in this image. So lateral relation is posterior true ligament of the bladder containing vesical plexus of veins. Now coming to the structure of the seminal vesicle, that is the microscopic structure. So it consists of three layers from outside to inwards. This is the loose areolar tissue or the adventitia. This is the muscularis layer. So muscular layer consists of outer longitudinal and inner circular picture, smooth muscles, and this one is the mucosa. So mucosa is thrown into folds, and it is because the tube is coiled, so the mucosa is thrown into folds and is lined by simple columnar epithelium here, and occasional goblet cells are seen within the diverticula, the lateral diverticula, what I was telling you in the previous slides. So in those diverticula the goblet cells are seen. Blood supply, the inferior vesicle and the middle rectal arteries supply the blood. Inferior vesicle artery, this is the inferior vesicle artery, and also the middle rectal artery will supply the seminal vesicle. The veins drain into the internal iliac veins, and lymph drain into the internal iliac nodes. The nerve supply to the seminal vesicle is the sympathetic fibers are derived from the superior hypogastric plexus, and parasympathetic fibers are derived from the pelvic splanchnic nerves. The development, each vesicle is developed from a diverticulum which develops from the caudal part of the mesonephric duct. And the function of the seminal vesicle is to produce a secretion that nourishes the spermatozoa, and during ejaculation seminal vesicles contract and expel their contents into the ejaculatory ducts. Thus they wash out the spermatozoa of the urethra. So this is the function of the seminal vesicles. Thank you.